All right, guys. Good morning. Today is going to be the last lesson for World War II. It's not going to take very long. Okay, make sure you guys have submitted. I'm going to be putting in three assignments today. Uh, we're going to be putting in the final phases of World War II. Okay, or the final years of World War II. That was the series of slides that you guys did a couple of days ago. And the phases of the Holocaust. Okay, is also going to be put in today. And then finally, this is going to be the last lesson for World War II, and that's going to be post-war aims. Okay, the directions are pretty straightforward. Okay, you guys can read through the basic, intro here. Sorry, Scout just came in from outside. Okay, as the Second World War drew to a close, there are big issues that the Allied powers, who are now victorious over Germany, Japan, and Axis Italy, had to figure out. What was the post-war peace going to look like, and in a lot of ways, planning for the peace that was going to dominate the global politics after the war was over was actually more important than the war itself. As far as what was going to happen politically, socially, and economically for really the next 70 years of history, which brings us right up to today. A lot of the tensions that existed at the end of World War II are going to lead to issues that politically still dominate the way that we deal with other nations right now. Okay, so you guys are going to go through just basic things. Okay, I want you guys to think about some of the big issues that face the Allies and the post-war world. Okay, devastation. Okay, if you guys were to go through and take a look at what Europe and a lot of Asia looked like when this war was over, it was just utterly destroyed. Okay, so what big issues did people have, to deal with in the war devastated areas like post-war Germany, Eastern Europe, parts of France? Okay, were also fairly well devastated. A lot of Italy was completely destroyed. Okay, and what were some solutions to that? Okay, this is going to require an international effort to help these nations out to get them back up on their feet. Okay, so what big problems face the world after this? Imagine 1,000 hurricanes, Category 5 hurricanes hitting both Asia and Europe for 7 years in a row. That's essentially what you're dealing with after World War II. A lot of people don't realize it. This was an enormous task, almost as big of a task as fighting and winning the war itself, was to try to get Europe and Asia back on its feet economically and socially. Okay. What are some big problems there? Okay. And then the impact of the Holocaust. And and I'm also going to write in what the Japanese were up to. A lot of times they kind of get off the hook historically, but they were guilty of massive atrocities in Southeast Asia and China as well. Okay. So we'll put in and Japanese war crimes. Okay, Japanese did terrible things in China. Even before World War One started in proper in 1937, when they took over the ancient city of Nanking in China, they systematically killed and tortured 400,000 people. Okay, that was just in one city. Okay, there's no numbers that really determine how many people in China died as a result of World War II. Okay? Some people say around 20 million. There's estimates up to around 30 to 40 to 50 million. Okay, so you are looking at a very, very disruptive period in human history in Asia, not just in Europe. And like I said, because of the systematic killing that the Germans were guilty of during the Holocaust, a lot of times we forget that the Japanese were guilty of things that were nearly as bad. Okay, so terrible, terrible things have taken place to the people, behind lines, so to speak, during World War II. So, what problems these people face that have survived it? Okay, imagine being a Jewish citizen, in Europe after this war is over. You survived the Holocaust. Most likely, if you guys want to write this down, most likely you're from Eastern Europe. Okay, most Jews that were affected by the Holocaust were from Poland, Lithuania, Estonia, Latvia, the Ukraine, Belarus. Okay, they are mainly from Eastern Europe. Okay, and these people have a serious problem to deal with now that they have survived. Think about what they have to go home to. Okay, and if there is a home to go home to. Okay, think about who's taken over the areas, and we've mentioned this in our discussions before. Who's taken over the areas in Eastern Europe and have started installing their style of government there? And so imagine being, a Jew from, say, Warsaw, okay, from Warsaw, Poland, and you go home to where you lived before the war started. Now all of a sudden, instead of having the Nazis patrolling the streets, now who's patrolling the streets? And why might you take issue with that? And what big problems do you face, not just yourself, but also people like you face in the aftermath of World War II and the Holocaust? Okay. And then there's the bigger question, all right? The international community, okay, the United States, the Soviet Union, Great Britain, France, okay, all these countries that participated in the war, maybe some that kind of watched it from afar. What big questions face the international community regarding the Holocaust? Okay, this is the type of event that people look at, especially back then, and nobody wants to repeat it again. So, what solutions might the international community have to prevent events like the Holocaust from taking place again? Okay, what needs to happen to Germany because of this? What needs to happen to those responsible in the aftermath of World War II? Okay, the elites that are left over from the Nazi Party. Okay, what becomes of them? A lot of them committed suicide, as you guys probably know. Obviously, Adolf Hitler, suicide in his bunker in the final days of World War II. Goebbels did the same thing. Adolf Eichmann attempted to escape into Brazil. So a lot of these guys, okay. So a lot of these guys have just kind of, either disappeared, out the rat hole, they called it, okay, which was an escape route through Italy and through Malta, believe it or not, into South America. Excuse me. So what needs to happen to these people that have perpetuated war crimes, and how should the international community determine guilt or innocence about the Holocaust, and also, regarding Japanese war crimes in Asia? Okay, so I want you guys to kind of put together. Sorry, got a little bit of pollen in my lungs here. I want you guys to put together a response for that. Okay. All right. Then what I want you guys to do, okay, I gave you guys a little bit of a reading here. It's not going to take you long. When the war's over, the British, the Americans, and the Soviets, they have very different views about what the post-war world is supposed to look like. Okay, so I want you guys to go through the Yalta and Potsdam conferences. Okay, this is from the British Broadcasting Corporation. Great website. Not just for news, but also for history and for different, different travel tips, things like that. Okay? So read through. Sorry, guys. So read through the differences between the Yalta and Potsdam conferences. Okay, there's 3 links. All right, so make sure you guys are reading through it. Just skim through. Gives you a little bit of a background to each. Gives you a chart. Okay. Sorry. A little bit of allergies here. Okay. And then as you guys go through that, as you guys go through that, okay, just highlight the key differences between the Allied powers over the conclusion of World War II. Okay. All right, you guys are free to work together on this today. This is basically just notes. It doesn't mean just share it and send it off to each other. It means that you guys create groups, okay, on Google Docs, all right? And it shouldn't take you too long, okay? It should only take you one class period, okay? All right, now, Friday, okay? Friday is, what is Friday? The 22nd, okay? I think Friday is one of our non-educational days, okay? Even if it's not, we are going to basically take Friday to review, okay? So Friday, either way, is going to be a non-instructional day for me, and it's going to be a non-instructional day for you as well, okay? So what I want you guys to do is I want you to go through the World War II review packet that I sent you guys, or that I posted for you guys a couple of weeks ago. All right. And start reviewing the key themes, okay? Because next Wednesday, okay, obviously Monday is going to be Memorial Day. next Wednesday we have our World War One test. Okay? You guys can feel free to shoot me questions about the review. That's fine. Okay, I'll do my best to field those over the next week and a half. All right. So I will see you guys on Tuesday when you're done. Okay, and again, you're going to see updates to Power School over the next couple of hours here. Okay, so make sure you guys are checking Power School over the next week and a half. Okay, we're rapidly running out of time here in the school year. We've only got about 3 weeks of actual instruction left. Okay, actually, let's see, yeah, 3 weeks. Okay, so if you guys still have outstanding zeros or incompletes, make sure you guys are making those up. Okay, again, everything that you have missed can be made up for full points. Okay. And again, remember that online learning, we're kind of taking this as an opportunity for you guys to improve your grades. Okay, not to have them tank. All right, so definitely take advantage of it. You guys got 3 weeks left. Okay, so push through to the end. All right, and I will see you next Wednesday. Okay, when you guys take your test. All right, talk to you then.